Hi, this is Mark from Faith on Tap. To experience awe is to touch the transcendent, to have that mountaintop experience. Sometimes it's as on the nose as a spectacular mountain view, and other times as personal as the birth of a child. Everyone has had such a moment.
Yeah, when you see something that awes you, all those chemical process fires, but that's God's design, and I think that's part of his blessing to it.
Does this transcendence come from a raw, emotional reaction, or is it a cascade of brain, chemicals, and electricity?
Well, yeah, I would think yes. Just thinking back at some of the things I've seen, I'm looking at them from an intelligent perspective of, I've never seen such a thing before. I've never experienced this in my life. So that's from from a very intelligent perspective. And then I have to deal with the awness of the feelings of, what is this now? This realization that I've never seen this before and I may never see it again. Now, how do I feel about it?
Now, as Christians, we might have a little bit of an inside track on this, as we are in awe of the creation, since we know the Creator.
I mean, people can look, a non-Christian, somebody who doesn't even believe in God can look at it and be in awe of something. But yet the Christian knows the source of the awe, the source of the event that caused this feeling in us. Scripture says all good things come from heaven, all good things come from God. And so
join us as we take you to the mountains and so much more today on Faith on Tap. We are at Bad Sons Brewery in Derby, Connecticut. And we're here with Liz. Say hi, Liz.
Hello, everyone.
And Mr. Dennis.
yes, sir.
And we just encountered they only have one food in town, and that's pizza. They have a little pizza shop here. It was good. The crust was great. Liz was all hot and heavy over everything else. She'd probably get a higher score than I, but I thought it wasn't seasoned right. We had, it was sausage, and what else was on it?
I guess the meat lovers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had a bunch of meat. It was something special with meat. Anywho, I'd give it a 6.8 just because it should have been better. You're going to give it a 12.1?
I'm going to give it an 8.8.
8.8, wow.
And you're going higher than I do because...
It was better than you think it is.
Okay, Dennis, you had a pizza. What was that?
I did. I had the mashed potato and bacon pizza.
That's disgusting.
Which was really good because they did not use...
The mashed potatoes?
Well, they didn't use box mashed potatoes. They actually used real taters for their mashed potatoes, so it was good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to bring some home.
The bacon is excellent, and then they filled it with some mashed potatoes because they had some left over.
The mashed taters.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're happy. So the question we are going to be asking today is, what is an experience that you felt that is bigger than yourself? I kind of like the question. I think everyone will have an experience. What do you think, Dennis? What do you think the people will say?
I think it depends on who we ask. If we go with a younger generation, it will be, I don't know what, but if you go for an older generation, I think it'll be very different.
What does that mean? Was it very different in a positive, negative way?
If somebody asked me that question, it would say when I met my granddaughter for the first time, like my first grandchild, so cliche.
What do you think? You have no insight on and specifics. It's going to be deep. It's going to be introspective.
I think people are going to have a hard time with it, actually.
I agree. I think people are going to ask us what we mean. Give me an example, especially like you said, I think there will be an age gap.
What will the younger people think?
They will have zero idea what we're asking them to say. I really don't think, I think we might want to skew older for this question just to get something.
We'll test the crowd.
See what happens.
All right. Let's see what they have to say. Your name. Joe F. I want you to tell me what is a situation that you had in your life that you felt bigger than yourself, like you saw an experience that you're in awe.
How about sitting here at Bad Sons not knowing what the next question is going to be?
Come on, you've had a time where you're just doing something and you're maybe a trip.
My wife and I thought that she was pregnant.
How long ago was that?
Oh, wow. 25 years ago.
Was it a really positive feeling? Was it magical? What was it?
It was a semi-magical. Like, yeah, I'm willing to roll with that.
Were you expecting it at that time?
No.
Okay.
It was one of those instances that, hey, just so you know, FYI, I'm late. I'm late.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, snap.
And so at that moment, was it the feeling of awe? Was it a positive, a negative, or a neutral experience?
I want to say that my love for her grew by leaps and bounds. You're right in that moment because she was potentially mothering my child.
So there's a bonding that you had with her that is still to this day.
Yeah, I'd say so. We talk about her. I bring it up. It was significant in my life.
Okay, Lisa, we can't hear you.
For us, it's like when we get to a certain destination on the mountain, we get to like, wow, we made it here to see. We're not staying. It's like to make that trek. It could be anything, and you're in amazement. Like, wow, this is just so beautiful. I feel like a lot of people, if they just got outside and just enjoyed nature, enjoyed the energy of being in the woods, and just solve a lot of problems. And
I've had very similar experiences, so I know exactly what you're talking about. What's next on your horizon as far as reaching that?
yeah,
Again, do you have something planned?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. Vermont and New Hampshire.
Beautiful.
yeah, we do a lot of downhill riding, but that's just so fast paced. But when we have to,
The trail ride.
yeah, and we get to the top of that mountain, and what we see, even skiing, and you're like, wow, if people can just see what we're seeing, people say, oh, you guys are crazy for doing this. And it's like, if you can only see what we see.
So when you say that, what's the next thing that's in your mind and in your heart that you wish you could express to people?
I don't want to say just do it, but I just feel like we're fortunate because we kept ourselves very healthy, do the right things, being healthy, being active, being adventurous.
And I can still, it resonates.
Oh, I know. I
still.
could be in Sedona and I still remember that moment when I was sitting on the Red Rocks and just feeling the energy of that and just looking up at the sky. It's like, life can't get any better than this. It's just like,
And
wow.
what does it do to your mind and heart when you're experiencing all of these?
It just brings
Larger than life
it just brings a calmness for me. And it's like, God, there's so much more important things to experience in life than whatever we're feeling there in life.
So what does this bigness mean to you? This largeness, this bigger than yourself kind of feeling. What
Peace.
What do you think it is? It's peace. Okay.
It's peace.
Okay.
It's peace for me. It's just, I feel like a lot of times I just wish I could just sell everything and just go be away.
It's not an easy thing to
live a simpler life.
Right.
I think about my grandparents, their lives were so much simpler but harder in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The farming and just trying to survive. But in reality, they had a better life. They had their family with them, family.
It felt more intact, kind of
family
integrated.
and friends. They had a village where, and I feel like we don't have that anymore.
So your name is
Adam?
Adam. I'm Dennis, and you are.
Colleen.
I'm sorry, Colleen, not Halia. Not like we were here once before, and it was nowhere's near this packed. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I was kind of surprised about that on Thursday.
Really? Yeah. All right, so it's not just us then. I'm just like, wow, it's
we don't
hopping.
usually get-
And I would love to hear your input too. Have you, and describe for me, been part of an experience where you felt that it was just bigger than yourself?
In regards to breweries or
Anything. So wait. So this is, are you guys dating? Are you married?
We're married.
You're married?
Yeah.
And so you had a class in high school.
Yep.
How many years ago? I'm sorry to date your age.
Let's see. So I graduated 30 years ago. So it had to be 32 years ago.
All right. So
So 32 years ago, we had a class together. And, he was just a person in the class. Like, I didn't really make any, it's like he was just someone I knew.
mm-hmm.
And as someone I recognized. And I didn't really pay attention to him in school. And and then
he wasn't on your radar at that
No.
point.
but there's a picture of us. Well, there's a picture of me and my boyfriend that I was dating in high school, and he was in the background of the picture.
Were you staking your claim then? Was it?
So years later, we both went to a beer fest unbeknownst to each other.
You going tomorrow?
Well, no, it was a beer festival.
Beer.
Yeah.
BEAR.
Yeah.
There's a music festival tomorrow.
Oh, no. So we went to beer festival, and my friend's like, "Oh, this is Adam." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I know this guy." And then I was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, "You went to Sheldon? Do you remember me?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." And yeah, we started dating right after that, and we've been together ever since. And the guy that took the picture, the guy I took the picture with in high school was the guy who took our wedding pictures.
Come on. So, wow. So, all right. So how many years you guys been married?
We've only been married for 2 years.
It'll
be 2 years this September.
There's no only. There's 2 years.
Yeah.
There's not only. I mean, that's.
Yeah, we've been married we've been married for almost 2 years.
And it's the happiest time of your life.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We actually got married here.
Really? Very cool. And it had the reception here and everything?
Yeah.
Nice. So your moment meeting in high school led you to this point. Like it was just a precursor to you being married to this man.
Yeah. So like many moons later.
You know, man, she just outdid you. Like, I just want to lay it down. I just throw it out.
I can't follow.
Welcome back. Hey, Liz, how's life?
Okay, I need to get real with you guys. I think we've been doing our listeners a disservice. We don't have a name for them. We have to have a name for our listeners. And I think the perfect name is the Tappers. Everyone who listens to us is a tapper.
Oh, Faith on Tap?
Yeah.
Tapper.
So y'all out there are tappers now.
Okay.
There we go.
Thus saith Liz.
That's the name.
Tappers.
You are the tappers.
So that deep voice was from the Herald of Hope.
Yes,
Oh,
I will
yes.
take that one.
That's a good one.
Wow.
That's a good one. Yep.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. All right.
I'll even get that one tattooed. That's a good one.
Please don't. The question we're asking, what's something that you've encountered that felt bigger than yourself? You just felt awe at the moment, at the mystery of it all. And we had a variety of answers. I had Joe F. started off to be a very beautiful story. His wife found his wife was pregnant and was very excited about it. It just changed it. It fell in love with his wife even deeper than it was before. And he still holds on to that feeling. Now he asked him, how did it all turn out? And was it a boy or a girl, et cetera? And he goes, we didn't have the baby. And I didn't know what to make from it, so I don't want to discuss any more of it now, but it was kind of dark. So
yeah, it's a tough.
It started off good and it went some dark places.
My couple, Colleen and Adam, it was a perplexing question for them. And I think Colleen had the answer, and it was more of a reflection back that the moment was bigger than they thought, but they didn't see it until now because she met her now husband, and they've been married for a couple of years, back in high school when she was dating someone else, and there was pictures taken, and he's in the background, and she's with her boyfriend in the foreground, and so it was more of looking back. It was bigger than I thought. Like, I knew my husband, but he wasn't my husband then. There was no click. There was no attraction. It was just, so it was more of a, just kind of a remembering. Serendipity. That's a good word. Yes. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I thought their story was kind of adorable. So I liked it.
And that may be an awe that we're looking for. But did you?
No, it is kind of. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of cool. It's like this whole full circle.
They lost contact with each other and then came back around. So it was more of a hindsight.
In reflection, it's like, wow, you were in my life back then and I wasn't even aware. I thought it was kind of sweet. I talked to Lisa again, and hopefully you were able to pull some of that out in the listening. But Lisa and her husband, I'll just give you the story now, is that they do a lot of biking all over the East Coast. just every time they get to a top of their destination, usually a mountaintop of some sort, just the experience of being up there, and the whole journey was an opportunity of reflection the whole way up. And just that she thinks that everyone needs to take that opportunity to get in touch with nature in their world, be outside and do these things and be active in your own existence. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
She was very excited to share all that. And it was just nice to see. I mean, her eyes were just like shining with how excited she was with the discussion. So that was cool.
So she did mountaintop bicycle riding?
Yes. All up the East Coast.
Really?
So from Georgia all the way up to Maine. So I thought that was kind of neat.
You knew I was going to ask you guys your awe moment. And I guess, let me start first.
No, you're going to say mine, then I won't have one. Go ahead.
But you share in the awe, so that's
I don't know.
a beautiful thing.
I know what you're going to say. And
I
now
had
I
about
don't
30
have
of
one.
them. Well, I was going to actually first say I wanted it to be a moment of awe, and it was for a moment. And that's when I had my first child.
Ergo, moment of awe.
Yeah, and because what happened was it transformed me. There was a part of me that just transformed him, and it almost like took my breath away. But that was quickly followed by intellectualizing it, and what does that mean? How am I going to be? Am I going to be a good father? And yeah, so I went down that route too quick to really appreciate that. I ruined it myself. I do that a lot, by the way. But the places where I don't do that, I would say we're going through a tunnel and we're in California entering Yosemite. And from the tunnel, I'll just mention that I'll have Liz complete the thought after you come out of the tunnel, because I have others. I mean, to me, the 2 solar eclipses that I saw, you tell people what an eclipse is, so it gets dark. That's great. And until you experience it, it's just,
there's no words for what that is.
Hey, this is my awe. I'm not, you can't jump into my awe. I was blessed to see 3 comets in my big comets. So actually, that were visible with the naked eye. Comet West, Kahutek, Hale-Bopp.
Wasn't there like something like Ayutthaya?
Yeah, that one too. But that wasn't as awful. Just seeing that and knowing how large it is, and it's basically a vacuum. Meteor showers, you're counting 100 meteors in a time. Thunderstorms, hurricanes, rainbows, or just looking at a big rolling pasture that just has fences and grass. I mean, there's something about it that I just sit there and I yearn to be in that moment again. So those are the things that I look back and I appreciate. And I don't have to process and think about internalizing and making it something that I have to work for. I could just appreciate it. Let's finish this thought. So, Liz, we're going through a tunnel in this place in California.
Yes.
And go ahead.
We're heading towards Yosemite. And first of all, it's the most perilous journey up the mountain. It's like 2 hours of we're going to die. And you go through this tunnel, and when you come out through the other side, all you see, it's like God's country. You see mountains and you see big sky, and then you see this outstanding, it looks like from Narnia, this waterfall.
Several waterfalls.
And as soon as we went in and came out the other side, I went, and it was the most authentic gasp of all time. I could not believe how intensely gorgeous and otherworldly and like God's country. This is like we landed in Narnia.
Oh, and we weren't alone, because as soon as we come out, cars are just parked to the side. And just they stop.
Everyone felt the same way. They had a big parking lot there, and because as soon as people went in there, they had to stop and think and just like look. And there was there was no point in driving at that moment. You had to take in this absolutely breathtaking scene. I mean, literally breathtaking.
Wow.
It was outrageously gorgeous. But another one, and I've experienced this numerous times in the past 10 years, I will never grow tired of watching baby goats be born.
Well, Dennis, did you have all when you saw it? You experienced it.
Well, it wasn't all. It was like, oh.
It was awful. Yeah.
Oh, what is that on your arm? I've had the privilege of traveling to a lot of different countries in the world, third world countries. What awes me many times is culture, different culture. And I especially think of the culture in Honduras, in the Tupacenti area where it's third world, and then in Kenya and Zimbabwe. You see beauty from a Westerner's perspective of landscape and mountains and rivers and this and that, all in the context of people living in extreme poverty. And
Interesting.
you just see contrast so much where if you look as a tourist, you're just like, wow, this is amazingly beautiful. I think in, some of the scenes I saw in Thailand, standing on a mountaintop looking over the valley where the clouds were resting in, but in that valley were villages of impoverished people living day to day in mud huts and those types of things. My awe really comes from, as I've been able to travel, my awe comes from the contrasts that I see in the world. Like, wow, something can be so beautiful and yet so harsh and challenging at the same time.
In a Christian perspective, when we have that awe moment, it's the feeling of God's closeness or God's presence.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking, I say, well, maybe these feelings of awe are just really neurochemicals dictating how you feel. We have oxytocin and serotonin. They give the feeling of peace. And we have dopamine, which gives us a pleasure experience. And endorphins are kind of like mood enhancers. So perhaps what we're feeling is not really the presence of God. It's just really a bunch of neurochemicals making us feel a certain way. If someone came to you and said, that's not God, those are just chemicals working in your brain.
I would say that's a little bit unfair because we are created by God. And there's no reason to think that he didn't design us to be affected that way.
Yes, I would agree. Totally agree. Like, yeah, when you see something that awes you, all those chemical process fires, but that's God's design. And I think that's part of his blessing to us.
Yeah, that's the intersection of the spiritual and the physical. I mean, there's no definition of beauty that is a purely physical expression. Beauty is something ethereal that affects us in a very physical way. And I think that's one of those spiritual connections that ties the spiritual to the physical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're trying to understand we have a spirit and we're a body, and we're trying to find the connection. And who's not to say those chemicals reactions that we have in the brain are a way of communicating in the spiritual. Yeah. And we have the Holy Spirit in us communicating in certain ways. Well, what chemicals are that? It doesn't really matter what chemical. The fact is, God created us with the ability to do so, and it's fun to learn how. And I think that the neurochemicals are very helpful in understanding that. But let's go back now. When you see that, when you're in that awe moment, and you get that emotional feeling, that sense of spiritual, is that separate for you from the intellectual at that point, or is it connected in some way?
Is it an intellectual response?
Is it just purely emotional, or is there any intellectual part of you that's also engaged in that experience?
Well, yeah, I would think yes. Just thinking back at some of the things I've seen, I'm looking at them from an intelligent perspective of, I've never seen such a thing before. I've never experienced this in my life. So that's from a very intelligent perspective. And then I have to deal with the awness of the feelings of, what is this now? This realization that I've never seen this before, and I may never see it again. Now, how do I feel about it?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a back and forth filtering system. That initial response that I had when we went through Yosemite, that was definitely just, I was not intellectualizing at all. It was just purely like, this is God's country. Look this is insane. It didn't even look real. But then it filters through. And like when we went the next day, I did the exact same thing. And I still went, knowing perfectly well what was on the other side of that tunnel. There's a filtering system, and I think it starts in chemistry, emotional thing, and then it gets filtered through to where you can process it differently. You probably go through that process very, very quickly, Mark.
Well, no, I tried not. I don't like intellectualizing things.
I'm not saying you like to do it. I'm saying that's just who you are.
No, actually, like with something like a solar eclipse, since I know all the science before it, I don't have to intellectualize anymore. I get it all. So I can just appreciate the experience. And that's maybe why I like the natural phenomena so much, because
But you haven't separated, though. Like you're
They're two different experiences. The understanding and the experience are not the same thing.
But it almost allows you to then better be in awe of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
there's still some stuff we don't understand that we saw.
I would think that They can go hand in hand in different ways. For example, I love the fine tuning argument. I can come up with 363 things that are perfectly designed for us to exist. And when I go over them, like Jupiter has to be the size it is where it's located, or we wouldn't be here. Things like that. I'm in awe of that. And that's an intellectual awe. I don't see Jupiter being that, doing that. So there's an awe I get intellectually of why physics works. Things like that they're definitely an intellectual awe. I think
do you posit that those are two different things? Like
no,
from an emotional awe to an intellectual?
That's a really good question. It really is. I personally think it's that emotional release that I have of feeling God's presence. And I feel them both different ways, but when I throw a ball and I know exactly where it'll land within a millimeter because physics works. Why does physics work? Why is the law of the universe ordered? Where does order come from? I just love that. And I love expressing that to the students as well. It's a different experience when I see a hurricane. I love a hurricane. I love the fierceness of it. I love how God can create nature to be so awesome. And I could just watch a tree fall down and go, wow, that's incredible. No, I do think they're separate, but it's a similar awe. They just come from different parts of the brain, probably.
And they inform each other.
Yeah, and they can feed off each other.
Yeah, I think that's correct too.
Like when I fell in love with Liz, it was not because of her brain or her personality.
Easy.
No,
it was my bangs.
I like bangs. No, it's because I was attracted to her looks. That was a moment of awe because I loved her. But when I got to know her more and this and that, understanding more about her, that would be the intellectual part. Then the love would grow deeper. So I think the same could be true by learning certain things, being awe of a comet. And why is a comet there? Oh, it's unbelievable that a comet is only the size of like a bus, but it can leave a streak 100 million miles long. That's ridiculous. So things like that I think are fun. The next part I have, and that's probably in conclusion, do you think these experiences is the prompting of the Holy Spirit at all? Do you think Christian would have the same awe as a non-Christian? Let's see what you have to say about that.
I think that's how we're built. We're supposed to find wonder, and that wonder is supposed to lead us to God. I think that's why we have no excuse because the miraculous is there right in front of us.
What about non-Christians?
That's what I'm saying. It's absolutely there.
So I guess the question is, a Christian and non-Christian looking at the same event, would a Christian get more out of it, do you think, than a non-Christian?
Again, I think the initial awe is like a physical manifest. It is a chemical and emotional thing, and I think that's open and available to anyone. But in analyzing it through a Christian lens is the providence of people who have spent time in the scriptures.
I mean, people can look, a non-Christian, somebody who doesn't even believe in God can look at it and be in awe of something. But yet the Christian knows the source of the awe, the source of the event that caused this feeling in us. Scripture says all good things come from heaven, all good things come from God. And so
what is it exactly that you're in awe of then when you have this feeling? What is it that you're in awe of?
I think the simplicity of it, and I know you're going to wreck me on this answer, but it's it. You're in awe of it. Whatever it is. It can be the birth of a baby goat to the Rift Valley in Kenya that you can watch a storm come across and literally watch lightning, thunder, rain move across this valley until it hits you. It's it.
It being God's creation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can just be so bold as to quote David in the Psalms, I think it kind of captures this whole thing. And this is Psalm 8. It says, when I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them, human beings that you care for them? That's kind of like captures everything that we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Amen and good night.
Amen.
Tune in next episode when you'll hear Dennis say,
putting your foot in your mouth in front of people who are half dressed is always...
Hey, awesome listener. If you're enjoying our podcast, give us a little love, like, share, follow, and snag this episode for later. It's the easiest way to keep the good times rolling and make our day. You're the best. Thank you.